Welcome, everybody. January the 1st. Happy New Year to everybody. Let's go and close our eyes and just settle into our meditation space. Once the eyes close, see what happens when you let go of the external world and drop deeply into the internal world. The real place of essence, of love, of truth. Just taking that long breath in and that slow breath out. Deep breath in, slow breath out. We have a bit of a deeper dive today. Let's really drop into meditation. Exhale together. And then inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding it. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold and freeze. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that cycling breath moving. Slow, deep breaths in. Low, slow breaths out. As my voice gets quieter, welcoming in that cycle of breath. Almost like a returning home of sorts. Regardless if you're watching live or recording, really honoring yourself for being here over the holidays. Honoring yourself for being here on New Year's Day. Really feeling that deep love and regard you must have for your own inner work. After a few more slow, deep breaths, quiet, relaxed breaths. At your own pace, starting to return to the room. Wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders, going to stretch your arms, and we'll meet again. Happy New Year, guys. So good to see you. Thank you all for being here too. I mean, it's a big deal to come on New Year's Day and hang out and a little bit of warning, it's a little bit of a deep class again. So the first class was sort of like medium, second class is really deep, third class is more medium, and fourth class is deep again, right? So I don't plan this, just so you know. When I went home yesterday, I was like, okay, what do I teach tomorrow? I've got like a long list of things I could teach. And then this is what I heard her say to me. So we'll see what happens. So welcome back, guys. Thank you all for being here. We're trying a different screen share to see how we go here. So welcome. Hope you can read this stuff. I know it's a little bit smaller. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to Inner Call. Happy New Year again. So as we get started, reminder, vulnerability is important, anonymity is important, and the law of one, what somebody else share also applies to you. You all have been here. Most of you have been here for the other calls. I think there might be one or two newer faces, but most of you have been here. So we'll just dive in today. Okay. So let's take a minute and just settle back into our being like we did in that meditation. If you wish, you can close your eyes and place your feet on the floor. Scanning from the top chakras down, starting at the top with sinlessness, going to the throat with holiness, going to the heart and solar plexus with innocence, and settling at the base with purity. The sinlessness, holiness, innocence, and purity are the energies of my truth. It's who I am. It's who I have always been. As you breathe into that, sinless, holiness, innocence, and purity. There you go. 4 more breaths there. This is who you've always been. Starting to feel that in the body. A little less chatter in the mind today than yesterday, which is nice to see. After a few more breaths, go ahead and open your eyes. Beautiful. Okay, let's just jump in because it is a bit of a deep class. Let's just jump in. Hang out. Okay, so what we've covered so far. The first day we covered 2025, 26, about the ego versus spirit. We defined miracles, though we're going to define them every day we're together. And in the inner temple, we'll define them every week. We talked about judgment on the second call. We talked about ego mind versus spirit mind on the first call. We talked about knowledge, divine perception, ego perception. Yesterday, we dived into the Divine Mother, forgiveness, and the Holy Instant. I know we talked about more than that, but that's kind of like an overview of some of the things we've covered. Pretty soon, I'll run out of like sections, but that's like an overview of some of the stuff we've covered already. So before we start, check in how are you feeling again on New Year's? And biggest question I have so far is what have you learned so far? Did anything percolate after the Divine Mother's class yesterday? And just use the chat box. As you know, this is a really important part of the class because it really helps you to reflect. Like when you reflect, I learned 2 + 2 is 4. Then what happens is you say it out loud and then it cements in your mind, right? So share in the chat box, what have I learned so far? I know we've been together for, I think today's day 4. I don't even know. What have we learned so far? Use the chat box. What are your take homes? What are your aha moments? What do you want to share? And even if you weren't on any of the calls, thank you for being here for your first one. Amazing. But what have you learned so far? And how are you feeling? The work is never done. Great one, Kate. It's ongoing. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, yesterday somebody asked me, like, when are you done learning A Course in Miracles or the Divine Mother and start teaching? I'm like, I still study, right? Every day. So what else? I'm sitting with knowledge and choosing again. Love that, Presley. Choose again. Hey, Robbie. So good to see you. So good to see you. Happy New Year, hon. Welcome. What else have you guys learned? Day 3 or 4 together. What else have you learned? Let's see. Work is never done. We got those 2. Anything else? That she is in my heart. I love that one all the time. I love that, Francis, for you. I love that. I'm feeling peaceful. I'm choosing to believe what the Divine Mother is telling me. Love that, Jamie. Love that. Chuck writes how far I have come. Chuck, so much. I've seen so much. And how far I have to go. Yeah. Deep presence, writes Ina. And perception is not reality. Oh, so good. So good. Rachel writes that while I was sitting in a dark place again, I really stopped doing the work, and I don't like that. And that's okay. And now you're here again. So no big deal. So just brush that off one day at a time, right? Because we're not judging ourselves, right? We're just here. So welcome. Dana wrote, "You refreshed weirdly as yesterday. I was a mess." That's so good. Okay, let's dive into today. And again, a warning, a little bit deep today, but I think we're going to be fine. Well, she told me it'll be fine, so we'll trust her. Today's definition of the miracles. Again, there's 50 principles at the start of the book. I'm going to take one every week through the year of the Inner Temple. And the one we're going to work on today is miracles are a kind of exchange. Like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses physical laws. I love that one, right? Reverses physical laws. They bring more love both to the giver and the receiver. Can you guys give me a thumbs up? Can you guys read that? Is that too small? Thumbs up. You guys can read it? Okay, great. Okay, perfect. I just need my bigger screen to read it. So I want to make sure you guys can read it. Okay, cool. So today we're going to work on some deep topics. Okay, anyways, I'll just stop talking about me. Today we're going to work on extension, projection, and perception. And when you combine this with what we did on judgment, it's like two lips kissing. Okay. And this, just so you know, today's class is a gradual thing. And during the intertemple or the group coaching, like, Jamie and you guys are in, we start to release the layers of our projections, but it takes time. Okay. So it's a deep dive today, but don't expect to be there and get it done all at once because the ego doesn't want you to give up the projections, which we'll get to. Okay. So we're going to work first on the nicer one, which is called extension. So let's define extension. Extension is the natural movement of love. And notice how your heart feels when I said that. Extension is creation. Extension is love sharing itself. It's how our Creator created us. So we are created in the likeness of our being. So we are created as an extension of that infinite love. Okay, I love that definition of extension. Extension is how we create with God. A lot of us have heard the word co-creation. Extension is how I create with the power of the Creator. Extension is love going outward without loss. I think that last capital letters is super important because we have human love, right? That we perceive if I give all my love to this person, then I have less love for that person. But that means that is the ego that's loving. But extension is love that's infinite, that goes out without losing. So in fact, the more love I give, the more love I get. So it's really different than the love we have for our family, love we have for our kids, even does that make sense? It's a different type of love that through the inner temple we'll call the holy love. And don't worry about it, guys. We have a whole year together. We're going to get there, or however long you spend with me. But extension is love without loss. And that's hard to imagine, but it is possible. Got it? It is possible. So the sharing of love, truth, light, and wholeness is extension. So there's a whole bunch of definitions. And you're going to feel how great this feels. Extension is effortless. It's natural. It's joyful. Extension is joining. And I know in our group coaching calls, we experienced it, Michaela, we experienced it in RTS. It's a joining. It's not a separating. It's a joining. Extension is rooted in abundance, that there's never, ever, ever a lack. Got it? And when I extend love, it's not like I lose it. It's not taken from me. And extension is the opposite of defense. Like, oh, no. It's the opposite. And extension does not come from the ego. It only comes from spirit. So it's my spirit extending through the Divi body to Ravi, to Michaela. Got it? It's my spirit where there's infinite love to you guys and vice versa. Make sense? Okay, cool. That's extension. What extension is not giving to get. So I'm not giving you something to get something. Of course, I'm hoping you'll sign up for the inner temple, but I'm not doing this to get something. Got it? So it's not sacrificing, right? It's not like, oh God, I would not have done these calls at 2:00 in the afternoon over the holidays if I didn't have a 16-week-old puppy. So I'm kind of like landlocked right now. So this isn't a sacrifice for me to be here. Got it? It's just a break for my puppy, actually. It's not fixing or rescuing or convincing. It's not projecting or needing guilt. It's not an ego extension. I've got a really great slide of comparison in a minute here, but not quite yet. And I already said this. The Creator extended him herself into creation. And you, as a human, were extended to create, not to defend. Because we all know how bad defense feels, right? When you're saying to somebody, I love you, they're like, no, don't, right? That doesn't feel good. That's a form of defense, right? What is extended actually increases because the more I give love, the more I get it. It's a beautiful concept, isn't it? It's really beautiful. Okay. And we're going to practice it, don't worry. I love this first one. Extension is not something I have to learn to do. It happens when I stop blocking love. It's a good one, right? I love watching your eyes' faces. It's a really big one for me because the course starts with some sentences that talk about we're not here to teach you how to love, but we're teaching you how to stop the blocks to love. And when we worked with the Divine Mother yesterday, which we'll work a lot through the Inner Temple on, the Divine Mother can take your stories as to what's not safe about loving. Got it? I know, Jamie, you've experienced that a lot. The Divine Mother teaches us extension by showing us how to give love without abandoning ourselves, so without sacrificing. Because extension never costs our wholeness. And I don't know, a lot of women or men can relate to that. They were taught that in order to love, they have to sacrifice. Can anyone relate to that one? No, I was taught that one. Yeah, you too, Michaela? And so that doesn't feel good. It gives me pain in my physical body. But when I learned to love without sacrifice, then my marriage got better. Even my relationship with my son got better. I'll tell you a quick funny story. So he's got his girlfriend in town. She's up from Florida. She's never been here, but you guys have heard that this week. They're going up to Whistler tomorrow or Saturday, tomorrow, I think. And he texted me this morning saying, "Hey, can you check if there's tubing?" So I checked and, texted him back, "Yep, there's tubing." By the time he woke up, right, I said, "This is the time they have." By the time he woke up and I got back home, all the tubing spots had gone, right? And before I would have felt like, oh, guilty, right? That, oh, right, I was out at my workout. I was doing my thing, right? The dude has a phone. The dude has two thumbs. He even has my credit card, right? So it's like when you stop feeling guilty, you stop sacrificing yourself. And I totally trust that whatever they're meant to do will occur. Right. But in the past, I've been like, oh, I'm such a bad mother. I should have skipped my workout. I should have stayed home. Did anyone relate to that one? Because we're meant to sacrifice ourselves. But this stuff has gotten into my head. I'm like, no, I extend love. And it's their journey. So for me, it's made a night and day difference in my parenting when I extend without sacrifice, right? But it's taking some work of the mind, right? The Divine Mother does not sacrifice. In the religion I grew up in of Hinduism, we sacrifice, but that's not truly what the Divine Mother believes. Got it? Okay. So we're going to practice. This is going to be the fun part. Okay, so this is, if you have your camera off, that's totally cool, but you will get more out of it if you put your camera on. You don't have to, but with extension, what we're going to do is I'm going to partner you guys. I'm going to do it because you won't know who to partner with, so I'm going to do it, okay? Again, if you don't have your camera on and can turn it on, you'll get more out of it with your camera on, but you can still do it with your camera off, okay? You're going to have partners, and I'll tell you what to do in just 1 second, okay? So the partners are going to be Rachel and Michelle, Jill, M, and Chuck, because there's a couple of Jills here today. So Jill, Morse, and Chuck, Kate, and Michaela. And if you guys can find each other on the screen, that would be great. Jamie and Ravi, but Ravi has her name as R. Cooner. So Jamie, you're with R. Cooner. Cool. So Ravi, if you want to wave, so she'll know. Presley and Natalie, Ina and Dana, if you guys can partner up. Okay. And who else I got? Francis and Kali, Fra, FRA, and Jill Marie. Oh, no, wait. Oh, wait. No. FRA and a 619 phone number. Jill Marie, did Jill Marie she's still here, but she turned the camera on. Let me just double check here. No, okay. Okay, cool. So everyone's got their partners. Just say you got your partners. Okay, cool. So the first name I gave, which is Rachel or Jill, you guys are going to be the givers. And the second person, Michelle, Chuck, and so on, you guys are going to be the receivers. Got it? So everybody's going to close their eyes and take about 20 breaths. Take slow, deep breaths. Okay. So FRA, you're going to be doing the phone number, okay? The 619 phone number. So with your eyes closed, just breathe. Now the givers, which was the first name, and it doesn't matter if you mess it up. Don't worry, you can't get this wrong. Invite a light from 300 feet above your head to go into the crown of your head. And then it's going to move into your third eye, your heart, and your solar plexus. And don't worry if you don't know where that is. And the givers, which are the first names, you're going to give them to your partner. And the receivers, which is Michelle, Chuck, Michaela, Ravi, and so on, you guys are going to be challenged to sit back and love it. Okay? On the count of 3, we're all going to open our eyes and we're going to connect eye to eye with our partners. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes and breathe. And Ina is going to send Dana love. Presley is sending Natalie love. And if you can't see each other, don't worry. Francis, send it to Kali. Frost, send it to the phone number. And the receivers, you just have to, there you go, Ina. Good work. Dana, just sit back and receive it. Let it in. Beautiful, Presley. Keep breathing. You can't get this. Nice work, Kate. You can't get this wrong. Beautiful, Joe. Keep breathing. Givers, notice how good it feels. And receivers, sit back and receive. Givers, what you're doing is called extension. You're pulling in from spirit, the white light, into your body, and you're extending love. And what you're going to notice as givers is that there's no end. You guys could do this all day. Take 5 more breaths. Nice, Robbie. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, close your eyes. Take a breath. And in a minute, we're going to switch pretty quickly. So just take 5 breaths with your eyes closed. And now the people who are the receivers, like Ravi and Michaela and so on, you guys are going to give. And the people who gave last time, you're going to receive. So the givers this time, which is Michelle and Chuck and so on, you're going to close your eyes, invite in the light from spirit, tend to the crown of your head, through your third eye, into your heart and solar plexus, and your throat chakra, and give it to the person who just gave to you. On the count of 3, you're all going to open your eyes. 1, 2, 3, begin. And receivers, you sit back. Rachel, Jill, you receive now. And don't worry who's doing what, guys. It doesn't really matter. Beautiful, Gravi, beautiful. Keep giving. Nice, Dana. And receivers, just sit back and let the love in. People who are giving, literally what's happening is this is extension. You're literally receiving love from the Creator, tracing it through your body and giving it. There you go. And givers, you're going to notice that there's no end. It's going to increase as you give it. Take 5 or 6 more breaths. And receivers, just let it in. And then when you're ready, go and close your eyes and take a few breaths. Soften the shoulders down, soften the scapula down, soften the forehead, relax your jaw. Let's just be here for a few minutes with breath. Let that in. You just amplified the amount of love in this container times 1,000,000. And if you're watching the recording, don't worry, you received it too, because your energy was here. After a few breaths, go and open your eyes. And using the chat box, share, how was that? Either as a giver or receiver, or just in general, just share in the chat box. What did you notice? You can divide up into giving and receiving, or you can just share generally. How was it? Did you feel something? Did you not? Especially if your camera is off, did you feel something? Did you not? What did you notice? Peaceful, right, Natalie? Yeah, very peaceful. Very peaceful. So much love. Yeah, Dana, so much. Expansion. Beautiful, 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 Collie. Pleasure. I know. It was gorgeous. It was so good. Like joyful happiness for New Year's. I love it. Where I was with it, giving, I got very warm. Felt in my cheeks, but quiet. Yeah, that's the divine love coming through you. Francis, whose camera was off, I think Collie's was off too. So much love. Both were easy, and so was Collie. Felt it too. So you don't have to do it with your camera on too, right? You can always do it any time of the day with anyone. As I was giving, writes Presley, I felt powerful waves coming through me. As I was receiving, I felt pressure on the front and back of my heart. And that's just the block. No big deal. No big deal, Presley. No big deal. Release in my throat when I was receiving. Nice, Michaela. Awesome. I felt so connected with the Divine Mother and channeling. I love that, Dana. So good. Okay. So that's extension. Okay. Much easier to give than receive for me. It's an ongoing issue. And exactly, Chuck. It's just that idea, right? That receivers tend to find problems with it because they have difficulty with the idea that they can receive. But it's just taking that wall down. Of course, I can receive. I'm an extension from the creator, of course, right? But it's just a mind thing. And the more you give that to the Divine Mother, the more she will take it. Kate wrote, I found the giving easy and powerful, but struggled receiving. I felt resistance to accept. Exactly. And that's just a block, right? And so what you want to start doing is you worked with the Divine Mother yesterday. I guarantee you the blocks to receiving are always the same. I don't deserve it. Who am I to get this? I'm not special. Something wrong with me. You just have to keep giving them to the Divine Mother and taking the truth, right? Because you're not a body, right? So nice work. Amazing. Okay, we're going to keep going. It's a big class. I'm going to keep going. Any comments before you keep going? We're good? Okay, amazing. So the next concept, which is deeper, which is projection, is extension flipped on its head, like it's upside down. Okay? So extension is essentially spirit coming through you to the other person. And when you give it, you get it back. It's just like, and that's why when you say, I don't feel like I receive it, which is hard, Kate, Chuck, all of you guys, I get it. But believe it or don't, you actually are receiving, even if there's the feeling, but you are receiving. So, and I know you know that. Now, projection, which I'll pull the slide up in a second, is actually the ego's trick. So the ego takes the same idea of extension, but to get rid of something. So you'll see in a second with the slides, okay? So projection, think of, you just did extension. Think of projection as, like if I'm standing up, think of that as extension. And if I go do a headstand, think of that as projection, okay? So it's upside down. Okay, cool. So let's get going here. What is projection? The projection is the base of the ego thought system. Okay, back up. So the very bottom, you know how they talk about an iceberg in spiritual development? You can see the top, but you can't see the bottom. That's an analogy people talk about in spiritual development. The very bottom of spiritual development, the very, 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 very bottom of spiritual development is unconscious guilt. I know for a lot of people, I've taught this many times. People get confused. They try to figure it out. Don't try to figure it out. It'll make sense as we go through the inner temple. Don't try to get logical about it. It makes no logical sense, okay? But the base, just accept for today's class that the base of the ego thought system is guilt. And like I said, it takes a while to understand. Don't try to figure it out. And the guilt is the thought that I've left my creator and I'm in a human body without the creator. And we know that's not true, but it's an unconscious guilt. Got it? So don't try to figure it out. Don't try to rationalize it. Don't try to do anything. Okay? Just know that we have it. And again, don't try to figure it out. That's all I can tell you guys is please don't try to make logical sense of this concept. Okay? But projection is what the ego does with guilt. Okay? Projection is the same technique as extension, like I just said, just stand on a somersault. But what projection is, I see another person and I'm going to try to get rid of my guilt. So like, you know how I extended love a minute ago? Projection is the ego says, I've got this guilt, fear, anger, whatever. I'm going to get rid of it and it's going to be gone. And that's what the ego thinks. And that's the definition of projection. Got it? If I've got this thing I don't like, but if I get rid of it, the ego thinks it's going to be gone. But in fact, like you noticed with extension, whatever you give makes it bigger. That's the crazy thing. Projection doesn't work. If I try to get rid of my anger onto somebody else, it actually gets bigger onto me. Crazy, right? And the example I'm going to, and try not to get logical, just try not to. The example I'm going to show on the next slide will make sense. I want all of you to think about this. How many times have you had, say, a hard day at work, or you're frustrated, or you're annoyed, or the DoorDash food was cold, or something happened, and you're annoyed? And you come home from work or come home from school, and you're just nah. And you then actually get mad at somebody else. Has anyone done that in their life ever? Has anyone ever done that? Thank you for some honesty. That is projection. We've all done it. Every parent has done it. We've had a SHITTY day at work. We come home and our kid's doing something half normal, half not normal. And then we go, nah. And the next day, we're not in that lousy day at work and they're doing the same thing and we don't say anything. Everyone's experienced that, right? All right, okay, good. That is projection. You're trying to get rid of your anger. You don't know you're doing it, but you just give it to them. Got it? And again, I'm going to tell you right now, Projection it took me, and it's an ongoing journey. It's taken me 2 or 3, and I'm slow. I jokingly say I'm slow, but it's taken me a while to really get that concept, but it has changed my life. Like it's like, oh. And most teachers who teach this type of work it takes normally, usually the average person, a few months, a few years to kind of like really pull back the majority of their projections. I think of it like like a scarf. And it's just like, oh, because the ego is so tricky at doing it and it does not want it to be seen. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if I still have you guys. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay. So, projection is the ego's attempt to get rid of an emotion by seeing it outside of yourself. Projection is miscreation. And this last sentence with the star is important. Guilt is not about wrongdoing, according to the Course. It's the belief that you separated from love. So really, almost all uncomfortable emotions, fear, anger, resentment, worry, and in the inner temple, you'll see me teaching it. Every uncomfortable emotion actually has the origin of guilt. And this is actually where people kind of get hung up trying to figure it out in your head, but it's not to be figured out in your head. Don't try to figure it out. If you talk to Chuck or Jamie or some of the people who studied me for a long time, Michaela in this work, they'll tell you it's taken them some time, but then like, oh, it really is guilt. But it takes some time, right? It's not logical. Okay. Just give it some time. Okay. So now I like this chart because I'm very visual. Projection versus extension. Extension comes from love and it shares truth. It joins and it reflects reality. It reveals that the world is neutral. Projection, it comes from fear, is trying to get rid of guilt, it separates us, it reinforces the illusion, and it makes the world seem dangerous. When you deeply understand these concepts, then judgment is undone. Got it? And that's why, like I said in the judgment class, I'm giving you pieces, but it'll make more sense when you understand this. And this topic takes a while to understand. So don't try to get logical. I've said that 4 times now, okay? Just give it some time, okay? Do I have you guys? Okay, cool. Amazing. So projection is the belief that the cause of the upset is outside of us. I was taught that my entire childhood. If Joe cuts you off in traffic, Joe is a bad person, right? I was taught that my entire child. That's why it takes a while to understand. Projection never wants to be seen by the ego. And it's a belief that there's an outer world and it takes time to pull our projections back. Okay. And I've got this fancy drawing that I think I did this morning or yesterday. There it is. It's a Dr. Divi drawing. Okay. And some of you have seen this before. Okay. But I can teach this 1,000 times and still learn. Trust me. You're the human stick figure. And the star in the outside world is anything in the outer world. The star represents anything in the outer world. The star is actually inherently neutral. Okay, so you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh. The President of the United States is inherently neutral. The Prime Minister of Canada is inherently neutral. Everything is neutral. Okay? You are the human here. The way you see the star is based on these yellow lines. Okay, and I'll give you an example in just a second. They say projection creates perception. So what that means is if I have a person out, a star out here, let's skip the president and we'll go to something more neutral. And I always use the same example because that's how my mind works. I live near a beach called Kitsilano Beach. It's like a couple minutes walk that way. It's a beach where a lot of young people hang out. They play volleyball. It's very fit. It's a beautiful beach. And a lot of dog walking goes down there. So I have clients that come to see me in person from different parts of the world. And here's the client. And they go to the beach beforehand. Everything on the outer world is inherently neutral. One client will come in and say to me, that beach, people are way too fit. I don't like it. I feel fat there. I don't like it because everyone's fit. What they're doing, and the beach is neutral. They have the yellow line are the unconscious guilt patterns of the ego thought system. So those yellow lines represent the guilt thought system of the mind. Got it? So that client who says, I don't like the beach where everyone's fit, they have a yellow line that says, I'm not fit. I'm not pretty. I don't have a 6-pack. And then what the ego does is tries to get rid of it. And it goes, damn you. People are too fit here. I don't like it. So something neutral like the beach, you've put something on. And whenever you put on anything on the outer world, you label it. That's a projection. Here's another example. Same beach. People come into my office and say, I don't like that beach because they see it as everyone's happy there. What do they have in their lives? They have this line that says, I'm not happy. Got it? And this is why it's such a deep concept. So we put everything out here on everything neutral. I'm going to pause for a sec. Is this kind of making sense, even just a little bit? Kind of tracking? I got some yeses from Ravi. Making sense, Presley. Okay, cool. Let's keep going then. She's saying keep going. Okay, cool. This is my favorite example. So everyone has a yellow vertical line that says you're doing it wrong. Everyone has that, right? Everyone has that line. Is that fair to say? That I'm doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong, and so on and so forth. Everyone has that line. Everyone has that yellow line. Okay. So the yellow line is a subconscious pattern of the ego thought system. Everyone can relate to this. You're out driving and you see somebody else driving badly. You're like, they're a bad driver. The ego went yellow line onto that person like that. Got it? And the funniest thing when you really understand this work, the universe has sent you this driver that you have labeled as bad for a number of reasons. Maybe it's to slow you down. Like I keep seeing a picture of like, when a car is trying to parallel park, like, do a reverse back into a spot and you're stuck behind them. Anyone have that experience, right? And you're stuck behind them. And there's multiple reasons the universe sets that up. Sometimes the universe is trying to slow you down from an accident 5 feet ahead of you. Sometimes the universe is trying to slow you down because then you can have a sip of your coffee. Sometimes the universe is trying to slow you down so you can take a breath. Sometimes the universe is slowing you down because they're trying to get you to get mad at that car so you can realize that you have a yellow line that says, I'm doing it wrong. And in the moment you made that person wrong for being a bad driver, that's an opportunity to forgive. Because when you're sitting there in the car, right? Choose again, right? Presley, we said that the other day. Here's a moment. I'm stuck behind a car that's taking 20 minutes to reverse into a spot. And I can't go anywhere because there's no lanes to change into. I'm stuck here. In this moment, I can remember the only two things I can do: love and forgiveness. Those are the only two things. So I can send this car love and have a moment to drink my coffee and breathe and be thankful and gratitude for the green trees. And you were like, yeah, Divi, if I didn't have to rush to work, I would do that. Maybe. Or if this car is backing up and I have to rush to work, I might do the projection thing of you screwy person, you screwy person, you screwy person. And remember that extension I'm doing, or sorry, that projection I'm doing is getting bigger on me. I'm actually judging myself in that moment. Got it? So my only alternate in this moment, if I can't send love, is to practice forgiveness. And first, the forgiveness goes to the car for being what we call a bad driver. And then the more you do it, the more you end up pulling your projections back and realizing, oh, look, this is a chance for me to forgive a yellow line. I think they're a bad driver. Oh, yellow line. Oh, yeah, I make you myself wrong. Let me forgive that right now. And yet, I think we've all experienced this, even if you're rushing to work, even if you're rushing to work, even if you're rushing to work, you know that if you get to, you create your reality minute to minute to minute. And if you're angry at yourself for being late for work, you're going to create that day. If you're like, it's all going to be fine. Those kids are going to be fine. No big deal. My clients will wait. Then that's what your experience is going to be. And it sounds so easy, right? And theoretically it is. And the only reason it's hard, and Rachel said this earlier, is when we forget, right? I'm getting hot. When we forget, or when we forget, or it's a chance to learn something deeper. Like I always tell people, I'm just as human as you are. I have moments I project, but just the more I do this, the easier it is to extend. Got it? And so it's moment to moment to moment to moment. And that's why when we take next year's class, it's like the more you're willing to kind of go, oh, you'll catch yourself. And then it happens faster and easier and faster and easier. Got it? So that's projection. Okay, she's telling me to pause. How is this tracking? Comments, questions. I've got a couple more slides, but how is this landing? Where are you guys at? You're good? Yeah, Natalie, go ahead.
Yeah, I wonder because I remember a couple of days ago you said, was it like you see it because you believe it, and you believe it because you want it or you value it, which
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
is that kind of a similar
Exactly the
concept?
same thing. Exactly. So I'm going to type it. Thank you, and just tell me if I don't answer your question. So Nally's in one of my group coaching class, and it's there's a definition of perception that I didn't put into the slides today. Perception's fundamental law is this: I see it because I believe it. I believe it because I want it. That want it or value it, whichever one you want. So that's exactly it. Does that make sense, Natalie?
Yeah, oh, I guess a follow-up question
Yeah.
then is like for me, value and wants are actually a little different. Like
Okay.
when you say value, I didn't actually quite get it. But when you say because I want it, then I go, okay, I know what I want. I don't always know what I value, but I
Right.
kind of know what I want, you know. And but at the same time, want kind of imply I don't already have it.
True, true, true. Except my understanding of the course's definition is that we want on an unconscious level. It's not like a want of a lack, but it's like and I'll give you a bad example, but just bear with me.
Okay.
So why do some people enter abusive relationships? If I use perception fundamental
Hmm.
law, I
Hmm.
see it or experience an abusive relationship because I believe that I'm less important. That's what most of us who have been in abusive relationships have experienced, is
Hmm.
that in my childhood, I believed I didn't count, right?
Hmm.
And on some level, I wanted or I valued thinking I wasn't as important as they are.
Hmm.
Do you see how that? But it's not like I actually wanted, like it's not like a lack, like that's an example of where you can use the word want or value. It's not a lacking. Like it's not
Okay.
something outside of me that I need.
So it's something that we don't even know we want.
Exactly. Exactly. Most
But
of the
it
time
somehow
it's
it might be
unconscious.
a father's wound or whatever it is. It may be something that's kind of what caused that like illogical wants, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's it. You nailed it. That's exactly it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to keep following that thread just because you brought it up. So one
Mhm.
of like I love teaching this work, but one of my favorite applications of this work is the equality between females and males. Okay?
Mhm.
Because probably like a lot of women in this class are, I was always taught to be less than a man. And then
Mhm.
I would run into relationships with men where I'd get treated horribly.
Mhm.
But it was only when I started to understand this work and go, oh, SHIT. I created, quote unquote, created that. And I
Mhm.
hate that expression, but that's divvy. Because on some level, I was not taught to value myself and my worth. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
I was always taught to value a partner, a male, over me. I was taught that.
Yeah. Wow, that's huge.
It's
Like
huge.
just knowing that is huge. Yeah.
And for me, that's like for Divi, that's where I like to apply this work a lot for like with my clients. It's not the only area I apply this work, but that's where I see such huge transformations for clients is when they get, oh God, it was in my subconscious. It makes sense. My grandmother has it. And so that when we understand perception fundamental law, then you're never a victim.
Mm. Yeah.
That track?
Yeah. 100%. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, Natalie.
Mhm.
How is that tracking, guys? Just want to make sure I didn't lose you guys when I just said what I just said to Ravi. Kate, I got you still, hun. Okay. So make sure. Ravi, I got you still. Okay, great. Want to make sure. Okay, good. Because it's a really deep concept, and I don't expect you all to. It took me forever to figure that out. Okay. Um, okay, this is interesting. Kate writes, I got bombarded with a text last night by someone of this nature who I haven't heard from in years. Not sure what to make of it. It's weird I brought that up. That's why. So the universe is conspiring for you, sister. So it's trying to show you something and I didn't plan for Natalie to ask that question. I didn't plan to teach that definition of the perception fundamental law because when I was working on my slides last night, I felt that that was too deep of a expression to put into class. Like that was, and also I only have certain many slides anyways, right? So it was like, okay, I'll leave that out. And if it comes in, it comes in. That's how I teach, right? So that was meant for you, Kate, and any other woman or man in the class who needed to hear that. Right? So that's all it is. It's because on some unconscious level, and that's where the Divine Mother comes in. Now it's my chance to forgive that. And that's how I've been healing mine is the Divine Mother knows that I am worthy. The Divine Mother knows. And that old lover of mine who hurt me so badly, he was just my arrow pointing me this way to go, oh, Dave, you got to start believing yourself. Right? So cool. Okay, amazing. Still have you guys. Okay, good. All right. So we have so many, many yellow lines of those, that picture I put up. And the more we are committed to this work, the more vulnerable we be, the more willing we are, like Kate was just now and Natalie was just now, we get to see them more. We get to say, yeah, you know what? I have this emotional pain. What we do a lot of times in spiritual work, which I've done for years, is blame, right? It's his fault. It's his fault. And that's normal. It's a normal part of the journey, right? But then at a certain point, we get tired of being in the powerless place because that's where blame takes us. But it's necessary. Like it's so necessary, right? There's a few things I like to still blame, like the Canadian tax government. They drive me crazy. I'm still working on that one, just so you know. But whenever I have something, a yellow line, then what I do is I do yesterday's work where I take it to the Divine Mother. I ask for forgiveness so I can see the truth, right? And the yellow lines are essentially us blocking from miracles. So going back to the example I just used with Natalie and Kate, if every woman and man in the world shifted the yellow line that says that I'm not worthy, oh, what a different planet we have. And this is how we will heal the masculine feminine energetics on the planet. Um, is it necessary to hold a vision for 2026? Just curious. Can I grab that in a minute, Francis? I'm just going to hold that one off. Great question, but I'm going to leave it for a second. I'm going to see what the rest of my slides say. See what else there is. It's a process. Okay. Oh no, we're going to do a process right now. Cool. Okay. So we're going to look at the yellow line that says, the one I'm going to ask you guys to work on is the identical one I had yesterday, but this one's a little bit deeper. I'm not worthy. And we all have that one, right? Everyone's got that one. It comes up in different ways. I'm not worthy. I don't count. I don't matter. I'm less than. And a lot of us have it in our subconscious or it's inherited in our DNA. Okay. And we have to own it to heal it, to forgive it. And the Divine Mother is going to do all our work. So let's close our eyes and just take a few breaths. Take a long breath in, take a slow breath out. Take a deep breath in and take a quiet breath out. Let's just get still with our breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Belly rises, belly falls. With your eyes closed, see if you can deepen your breath even more. And let's just get present in this moment, also called the holy instant. And we're going to be working on that yellow line that says, there's something wrong with me. I am not worthy. I am not enough. I've done something wrong. Whichever one you want to use, or all of them. Like we did yesterday, find that beautiful, beautiful place in nature. Maybe there are some trees, some animals, a waterfall, some rivers. What do you see? And breathe. Maybe there are some sounds of some rivers or animals or birds. Get comfortable in this place in nature as you breathe. Deep breath in, long breath out. Slow breath in, quiet breath out. Just keep breathing. Your body starts to relax. The mind starts to relax. And your breath gets deeper. You begin to sense the energy of love, your guides, your divine support team, your angels, your ancestors. We've worked on that all week. Welcome them in. And then you sense the energy of the Divine Mother. Welcome her in. And just keep breathing. as the Divine Mother walks over to you with a beautiful, beautiful silver platter. She invites you to give that subconscious, unconscious belief that you value or wanted in some level of not being worthy, not being enough. Give that to her. This is the deeper work. Divine Mother, please, please help me to forgive myself. Please help me. I've used this thought of unworthiness to attack myself. Please help me to forgive myself for using this thought to attack myself. By attacking myself, I am blocking the love from you. Divine Mother, please help me to forgive myself for unknowingly using this thought to attack myself, thereby blocking my love, blocking the love from you to me. As I give this to you, I practice forgiveness. I practice what's called the atonement. And I'm open to a miracle. Just stay here for about 5 or 10 breaths. There you go. Good, good, good. It just takes that little willingness. And feel what you feel in your body and your mind as you're doing this. Gorgeous. And then when you're ready, there's no rush at all. Start to slowly bring your awareness back into the room, back into this moment. Absolutely no rush. And please use the chat box to let me know how you are. How are you guys doing? Just use peaceful and gratitude. I love that. Thanks, Natalie. Headache and willingness to let go of it. I love that, Presley. That's the miracle. The shifts that you're describing, even the headache, it's the willingness. That's the miracle, right? I think of the miracle as a physical sensation, but it always starts with like what Rachel's saying, the peace and felt sense of my body just released and relaxed. Yeah, that's it. That's the miracle. Powerful, what I needed. I love that. Feeling lighter. I love that. Very reassured. I love that, Jamie. Okay, good. Go back and finish off the slides, and then we'll chat and see how you guys are. I was in observer mode throughout it, and third eye is buzzing. I love that, Francis. Okay, cool. There's a couple more slides that I want to finish off. First off, any questions before I keep going? I want to check in. How are you guys doing? Any questions? She's saying to wait a second. She asked me, if you are the I am or the divine, how could you be unworthy? Oh, I love that. That one is a tattoo material, Chuck. I love that. How could we be unworthy? Good one. Love that. Yeah, she's saying keep going. Okay, good. So the ultimate to ask yourself is, are you willing to own your projections, to heal them, to allow miracles? Because every yellow line, right? And what I have discovered in my own journey and helping lots of people, it's like you get rid of one, and then under it, like, you know, when you're taking an onion off and you've got like thick layer, then you got thin, then you got thick, then you got thin. That's what it is you're removing. And some of you who I've known for a while, like Presley and a bunch of you guys, it's like, and Natalie, like I'm watching you guys move the thinner layers because you get to the thinner parts once you take the thick ones off. It's like, oh, that one. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I have this written down because I forgot to say it. So why am I doing the 7-day thing? Initially, when we were launching this program, I was going to offer a 14-day free for everybody. That was their initial plan. And then we went and checked it on school on our platform, and it wouldn't let us do it because of the technical glitch. I'd have to get rid of the free community. I'd have to get rid of all my free clients to offer 14-day free. It's like way too much work. So that's why I did the 7-day thing, which is the guidance. Like I literally found out 4 or 5 days ago that you couldn't do that. It's like, oh, okay. But I wanted you guys to know that there is a 14-day money back guarantee. So if you're feeling a pull to the inner temple and you start it, you're like, this sucks. Cool. I'm not attached. You totally get your money back. Okay. I just want to let you guys know that and that's actually what prompted this. It's about, let's just say a week ago. And I think most of you know, I have no sense of time. A week or 10 days ago, I was on a call with my team and I said, hey guys, the Inner Temple program is done. It's ready to get launched. What do we do? And so we came out with a marketing strategy, so to speak. And the marketing strategy we left with, we'll offer it to everybody for 14 days free. And then we went to look into it, how to do it. I was like, crap, you can't do that on this website. It's like, okay, so we'll do a 7-day free trial, which is what we're doing with you guys right now. And then if you like it, you can join. But if you still don't like it once you actually join, 14 days later, you can't get your money back. So I'm not attached. My goal with this work is kind of what was Natalie's question. If my Divi, my main thing for humans is the unworthiness piece because it has created havoc in my life, in my relationship with my husband, with my child, even because I was so busy looking for worthiness from him. Poor kid, right? And so as I've pulled those projections back, it has been a game changer for my relationship. So I want that for everybody. That's basically why I do this work. That's basically why I'm offering this course. It's because I want you to have the same leaps and bonds I've had in the last number of years as I've dived deeper into the Divine Mother work and A Course in Miracles. I want each of you to experience the same. Okay. That's why the price point is relatively low. That's why I'm teaching this. That's why I'm doing all this. So cool. All right. That's all I got. Comments, questions. Anyone else want to have questions? I think, Francis, you had a question, which I'll pull back in. Any questions before I wrap? And don't ask me what I'm teaching tomorrow because I don't know right now. I think I'm teaching grievances, guilt, and defense. Those are 3 topics I've got left. I've got lots of topics, but I don't know. We'll find out. Comments, questions. How are you guys doing? Any questions that are hanging over the edge here? I'm going to go back to Francis' question. Is it necessary for a hold a vision for 2026? It's totally up to you. I didn't stay up till midnight yesterday, but I stayed up till midnight Eastern time. So that was good. But I thought about that. And for me, my vision for 2026, and I invite you to have your own, is to connect to source, to connect to the holy instant as often as possible, as often as I can remember. Because when I connect to the holy instant, I'm connecting to my God self. That's my intention. But that's a moment to moment intention. So but do you have to listen to yourself is what I would say. Everyone's different, I would say. So, any other questions as we wrap with projection, extension, to be more heart-based? I love that. What's the price of this going to be after January 31st? I don't know, honey. I don't know. Also, if we sign up for the month in January, does the price go up after that? Oh no, if you do the month to month thing, no, the price gets locked in. So if you do the month, because there's the option of paying it month to month to month to month, and then you can cut off whenever you want, or you can pay for the whole thing at once. So the whole thing at once is on a 43% reduction right now. The month to month to month, I don't think that's going to go up. I think the 1-year price will go up. How much it's going to go up, I don't know. I'll ask my guides at the end of January. I have no idea. But no, if you lock it at the month to month to month price, it stays that price. So I hope that answered your question. Cool. And then just a reminder, school is an affiliate program. So if you refer somebody to me and they want to take this program, you get 20% of what they pay me. Does that make sense? So I'll take 80, you take 20. That's how I've set it up. That's why I'm on school. That's why I'm using that program. I know it's in US dollars, which most Canadians don't particularly like, but I've dropped the price to match that. So I put into US to Canadian. So, but the whole idea was for y'all to make money too. That was the whole idea as to why I did that. So cool. Any other questions? Good. All right, amazing. We're gonna be back at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And I would love you all to join. That's from me to you and from my mission on this planet to all of you. So sending you guys so much love. I hope you have the most amazing New Year's. Thank you all for being here. So much love. See you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.